Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms, what is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny and the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life. All my people in my kingdom point the way. That's a small price to pay. To God I pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height, and the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind. Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms, what is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life. All my people in my kingdom point the way. That's a small price to pay. To God I pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height, and the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred
Hello, 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 governors. Welcome to Osiris League Season 7 Playoff Quarterfinals. I am your host, Plato Gaming, content creator and caster for Rise of Kingdoms. And the match that we'll be spectating today is 60GT versus K244. These two teams are facing off in a one-match elimination, meaning whoever wins gets to qualify for the semifinals and for the chance to continue on contending for the Osiris League title. But for the loser, it is the end of the road. It is the end of the season for the loser, meaning that the stakes for this match is at an all-time high. Both teams are looking really, really strong going into today's matchup, as both have not lost a single game this season. If I go in game here, we can see that 60GT is 9-0, 100% winning percentage. Winning their last game against WACE 49 by about 25k, and seeing as that was a top 2 team in their group, very, very impressive showing from them. K244 also showing a lot of dominance on their end here, where they actually versed against CPLW in their round of 16 match, and they actually won their matchup by a very, very, very wide margin. So I think this will be the biggest test for both teams here. 60GT only really having a close match against their counterpart 60MX, when K244 was able to sweep through their group and their round of 16, which actually ended up being a team from their group. So they swept through their group pretty easily here. The winner of this match will be able to fight the winner of Sin 7 and Wib in the semifinals. And if you actually get into the semifinals, you get that coveted training skin. So both teams here are definitely fighting to get that training skin and have the aspirations to win a championship. 60GT obviously a very, very heavy favorite here. They have been dominant in their respective realm for many, many years here. As you can see, for the past couple of seasons, from their banner, they have 3 Osiris wins, Osiris League wins, as you can see the 3 ticks in the 60GT banner, as well as an impressive 8 Zig captures with the moon representing 5 and the stars representing 1 each. So 5 plus 3, 8. K244, they are a pretty strong team, Osiris League team. They were actually in the finals of the realm of Basset, where they were last season, actually against GV77. GV77 ended up winning that series last season in 3 games, but K244 showing that they are capable of, going all the way to the championship and trying to replicate the same success that they had last season. So 60GT are favored, but K244 are a very, very strong matchup. 5.9 million power in their team is a lot of power. Actually more than 60GT at 5 billion power, 5.9 billion power rather for 2244 here. So they will actually have the power advantage against 60GT. We'll see if that translates into the match that we will be watching soon. If we go into the other side of the bracket, Anubis has been a very interesting realm here, where GV77, which was seen to be kind of the favorites to get out of this left side of the bracket, lost to EE8 in a very, very close match last week. So I believe that this left side of the bracket is rather open, and this right side of the bracket is a very, very tough bracket. We'll have to see how Sin 7 versus Wib plays out later today, as I go back to the talking point so that we can go into the game here. It should be a very interesting match. We will be able to see 1960 and 60GT kind of do their thing in Osiris League, very dominant kingdom. I think this will be their first true test versus K244, and K244 will definitely have to be playing their A game here to have a chance against 1960 and 60GT here. It'll be very, very interesting to see the mid preparations from both teams how both teams prioritize structures versus mid fights, where they put the pressure on, and kind of how they respond to pressure. Because from what we saw in the last game, 60 1v really responds to pressure really, really well. As we get into the game here, we are going to get into the game rather shortly here. And yeah, I think this match will actually be closer than most people think. And it might prove to be a pretty good test for 60GT going into the winner of WIB and Sin 7 next week. So here we go. We are in the match now with 94% of the vote going to 60GT. That just shows that 60GT are very, very favored in this matchup to win. Only 6% of the bets going to K244. We'll have to see if K244 will be able to pull off the upset here and win against 60GT. As we see people starting to teleport in. Wow, very high powers from K244 here. So they will definitely not be lacking troops. Average power about like 120 million per player. I'd say like 500 million power. Very, very high powered cities. Compared to 60GT here, I mean 60GT has a lot of whales as well, so I think they should be fine. Although there is a 74.5 million power city. We have Fish at 83.3 million power, so there are a couple lower power cities, but I do not think speedups and speedups will be a problem for them in this matchup. We are going to be looking for how many obelisk rallies each team will bring out, because if you look at obelisk rallies, if it actually ends up being a cavalry obelisk rally, it usually means that that team is trying to contest the obelisk that they are. If it's a cavalry rally going towards an obelisk, it usually means that they are trying to contest that obelisk. Because usually for transport rallies, it is infantry, because infantry is the slowest troop type in the game. So we'll have to see if there'll be some cavalry rallies coming out. Some Justinian Nevsky's is the best in slot cavalry rally from what we've seen in these matches so far. So it'll be really interesting to see if K244 will try to catch 60GT off guard, or 60GT will try to catch K244 off guard here as the match is about to start. I'm also curious to see how they prioritize these outposts as well, and first captures. So here we go. Battle has started. We see the T1 marches here. Of course, we got the double C's running as fast as possible towards these outposts and the obelisk. So both teams should be running out with this T1 marches. There you go. It actually looks like K244 have more T1 marches out in the field over here. Hidden Sentry used. Wow, right at the entrance by K244. Very interesting. Maybe they just want to see the opening composition of both teams, how many marches are going to go to each side. 60GT also putting a Hidden Sentry. This is the more typical location that you see in between the Shrine of Life and the opponent Desert Altar, just to see how many people are going towards the Shrine of Life. Yeah, very interesting. I'm curious to see if there's going to be a play that K244 uses with this information, seeing the amount of marches. I think it's pretty evenly split, maybe a bit more coming from 60GT in this bottom lane. But yeah, very interesting. Let's go check out the rallies here. 60GT having all four obelisks rallied, as well as K244. But 60GT also have 2 outpost rallies. So let us see the composition of these rallies. We see, okay, so we do see an archer rally. We do see an infantry rally. So it looks like these mixed rallies, a Nevsky Joan with archers. So it looks like these rallies are probably not going to contest. Maybe actually this Justinian down here in this bottom lane might be trying to contest the bottom obelisk of K244 here. Let us see the K244 rallies on their side. They have a Nevsky rally as well. on their side. So we'll have to see if both obelisks are actually going to be contested here, as we also have a Nevsky and Joan. Yeah, usually when you see a cav rally for these transport rallies, maybe they just want to get as much positioning as possible. But as you see, look, there are actually a couple K244 marches. Look at the double C's. Wow, 60GT do have information that all these double C's are coming. It does look like they are T5 marches, so they are trying to contest this obelisk over here. As we see a double C trying to snipe. This was a T1 march trying to snipe the obelisk here. So, but it does look like 60GT are reacting really well. They have a lot of marches going towards these individual cavalry marches here, contesting the obelisk capture, the obelisk cheese, some might say, that K244 is trying to pull off here. As we see the Nevsky, I believe, I think that's Joan. We'll have to see the secondary commander with the skill animation here, but K244 is committing pretty heavily towards this obelisk capture here. But it does look like 60GT was able to snuff it out, was able to contest this play here, and I don't think K244 will actually be able to capture this obelisk. With this amount of 60GT presence, we'll have to see if that will actually impact 60GT's ability to hold their own desert altar, because they do have a lot of people around their own obelisk here, and maybe K244 might be able to overwhelm their desert altar here, as it is opening in 60 seconds. Let us see this obelisk. I believe, yep, it is. The rally is getting swarmed down, so 60GT was prepared for this push. They had a lot of units around the obelisk, so yeah, K244 will not be able to capture this obelisk, but will they be able to capture this desert altar? That is the big question. Although 60GT did put a lot of people and did put a lot of resources up here, so did K244 with all of these cav marches, all of these Nevskys. That might have been, able to contest the desert altar here as well. So it does look like 60GT is able to at least fend them off from completely taking over this desert altar. Let's go ahead and check the bottom desert altar for K244, and wow, look at that. 60GT able to clear out K244 in front of their own desert altar is really, really bad for K244. K244 might actually be trying to swap their desert altar for the sky altar as the structures start to open here. 60GT was able to take the desert altar uncontested, but their sky altar is now contested by K244. Very interesting here, as it's 2 obelisks each, but it does look like 60GT have more overall structures than K244 in this situation. 60GT able to get the first tap in the Shrine of War over here, able to get the first tap in the desert altar. Actually curious as to why, there you go, a late cap of the Shrine of War. I'm probably busy with marches elsewhere, but it does look like K244 is trying to trade structures here, but 60GT having a lot of open field presence around the desert altar, looking to secure the first capture points, because if you don't know, first occupation points, meaning when you first capture the structure, give you 750 points per altar, which is a huge amount of points. So if 60GT is able to capture this and able to deny the first capture points from the sky altar, then it'll be a huge loss to K244. But it does look like K244 have a lot of units around this sky altar, and 60GT don't have too much presence around here. It looks like they are more oriented towards this desert altar, and honestly the desert altar is probably more higher value for them, because this is closer to the mid fight. They can rotate easier from the desert altar and kind of also block off the rotation of K244 if they so desired. This bottom lane rotation to the Arc, as Arc is going to spawn in 5 minutes 30 seconds. I believe I started seeing some 60GT marches from the top lane over here start rotating down to this desert altar. So it looks like 60GT will have the first rotation to this mid fight here, as they continuously pick off these K244 marches. These K244 marches are going in one by one, which is definitely not what you want to do here. As 60GT also has a rally on their Sky Altar. Will they be able to take the Sky Altar is the real question here. Because if they take the Sky Altar before this timer ticks, then K244 will be in an altar deficit, which will be very, very bad for them and their prospects of winning this game, because those first occupation points stack up. As it does look like 60GT, if you look at the map down here, have control of this bottom quadrant of the map. So it is very 60GT favored, but it does look like K244 will be able to hold on to this Sky Altar, at least for the time being. It's 15 seconds. Will they be able to hold on? 10 seconds. 60GT now starting to storm down this Sky Altar, but it might be too little too late here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and there you go. K244 at least getting two altars worth of first occupation points, aren't too far behind, but it does look like K244 was able to get a sneaky obelisk capture, which actually does delay some of the 60GT teleports. Not too sure if that'll be too consequential. But yeah, look, 60GT able to hold off this K244 bottom side push towards this desert altar. As the arc is getting close to spawn. 3 minutes 40 seconds until arc spawns. I'm not too sure if K244 wants to actually start swarming down these marches, because if they swarm down these marches, it is actually a win-win situation for 60GT. They want to reset these marches so that they can stat face and go straight to mid. Look, we'll see this march stat face, and they will probably start look at that, instantly starting to send their marches mid, which is exactly what 60GT wants. Meanwhile, for K244, all of these marches will be low from swarming this structure. They got a Jan in there, probably Jan Heraclius, gonna deal huge anti-swarm and AoE damage to these K244 marches. And even if they want to reset here, it's gonna be very, very hard for them, because they won't be in this mid fight in time. As I say that, 60GT have amassed a lot of troops in this mid fight. K244 very, very slow to this mid rotation. I don't even know if they're gonna contest this mid fight. Look at how many 60GT marches are coming from spawn. My goodness, 60GT having a lot of marches here. It looks like they have a scouting march to the side over here. It's like, hey, wait, where is K244 in this situation? K244 doesn't seem to have that much priority in this first arc. I think 60GT could probably just start pushing them, honestly, with the amount of numbers they have and the lack of numbers coming. Look, I think this might be a deliberate choice. Maybe trying to stabilize their structure game before they try to, I guess, contest these arcs, but 60GT is winning in the points per minute and in the amount of pressure that they have for this arc, so it's looking pretty dire early on here for K244. We're starting to see some marches approach K244. Oh, Master Strategies. Where is that going to be used? Where is Master Strategies being used? Oh, in the 60GT obelisk. See Will standing between 30 marches and K244. K244 is all inning, sacking the arc for this obelisk. Will they be able to take this? I think the answer is yes. All of 60GT's marches are mid. They are starting to rotate some marches here. Oh my goodness, K244 with a huge play. Will this pay off? So this is what K244 gets for capturing this obelisk. They get to delay in the surface level. They get to delay the 60GT teleports to this top side. They also get to spread 60GT a little bit thin here. And if they actually hold it for 2 minutes, they get an extra 8 teleports, which is going to be huge. And if they teleport their 500 million power cities here, 60GT actually can't just swarm them down. It'll be a waste of resources for them. Oh my goodness, this might be a huge play from K244. Wow, I did not see this coming. Kudos to the K244 because, 60GT play very, very standard. And the thing is, if you play them at their game, you're eventually going to lose out. The only team that has been able to beat 60GT at all, I'd say, is probably 1v. And that's straight up mid fight, front to back type of gameplay. But look at that, K244 also winning in points per minute. They have the structure here. 50 seconds until this obelisk. They also teleported a garrison lead. Oh my goodness. I don't know what 60GT will do here. Wow. What is the play for 60GT? They do have the arc, so they have that in their favor. But a huge play, a master strategies by K244. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use it like that. 25 seconds left. This is intense. Who will win this? 19 seconds left. 15 seconds left here. K244, will they be able to hold this obelisk? It looks like the answer is yes. So many units here from K244. And we were wondering, where are they? They're not mid. But they were at this obelisk. They've captured it. +8 teleports. Let's see if they start teleporting in some cities here. Here we go. Oh no. This is bad for 60GT. Look at the power of these cities. My goodness. They can't swarm these down. Maybe the 193 mil, but these 500 mil power players, they are here to stay for the match. Oh my goodness. K244 with a huge play. So they'll be able to be a thorn in the backside for 60GT. Just able to launch their own rallies. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 marches of K244 coming straight out of 60GT's back door throughout the rest of the game. What a huge play from K244. We'll see what they do with this pressure. But at the very least, they could continuously swarm down this obelisk. Oh my goodness, what is 60GT going to do here? K244 also winning this bottom side. They have both altars. I'm just flustered. Oh my goodness. This is huge. They did lose their sky altar. I'm guessing there were some, some people here from this team that were, dedicated to these structures over here in this top side, but oh my goodness. We'll have to sit back and watch because I'm not too sure what 60GT will do. I mean, we have to look at it from 60GT side as well. That is 25 marches that will not be contesting these structures, at least. The Sky Altar, the Shrine of War, these structures in this bottom side, I'm gonna guess, yeah, there aren't that many cities around their own obelisk in this bottom side over here. So that is, I guess, a plus for 60GT. They just have to make sure they hold both of these altars. They're holding all 4 altars right now. So we have to see what K244 does with this pressure. And they are starting to swarm. They're starting to rally the Desert Altar from 60GT's own obelisk. Oh my goodness. This is pretty ridiculous to see, but look, the rally is going backwards to the Desert Altar here. Oh my goodness. As I believe this structure will continuously get swarmed down over and over and over again. Which, it is 25 marches of very high-powered players of K244 dedicated to this obelisk, but it is also a lot of marches from 60GT dedicated to holding this obelisk as well. It looks like 60GT will get their obelisk back, so they will be able to start teleporting some cities in here, but there are a lot of teleport spots already taken by K244. They're not prime, like you'd want to take these teleport spots in the middle here, but K244, there were a lot of marches around here, so they couldn't get those TP spots. They just tried to TP as fast as possible, which is completely understandable. 60GT now able to teleport. Let's see if they're able to get some cities here. There you go. We got some cities in the outskirts over here. Yeah, this structure is going to be contested throughout the rest of this arc. I'm not too sure. There's so much going on. There's also this desert altar being contested. There's also this desert altar. This desert altar is not under too much threat. But this is the most interesting part, so we're going to stay here for now. As 60GT is actually holding on to the arc 10 minutes until they are forced to capture. But they do have three altars, so they are winning in the points per minute game. And they do have the they do have the altars and the arc, so they are currently winning. We'll have to see what K244 does with this pressure. As there is a... Oh, wow. There are actually some K244 marches contesting this arc, but I don't think it'll be too eventful there. But yeah, wow. K244 stacking mid, using master strategies to teleport 30 marches above 60GT's obelisk. Just able to capture and teleport in some cities. But yeah, 60GT did capture the arc, so arc is going to spawn in 8 minutes. We'll have to see what K244 is able to do with this pressure. I mean, it looks like they'll be able to flip over this obelisk again. Although there are a lot of 60GT cities, and now that they're aware of it, they can just instantly reinforce this obelisk over and over and over again. They probably have a dedicated amount of players just, you know, dedicated to holding this obelisk. I think this next mid fight will matter a lot. Because the structure game is actually pretty even. It keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As does this obelisk. So it will be... It is 60GT favored. I think they're still calm. They're still very calm, cool, collected. They have reinforcement marches dedicated to this obelisk, just to make sure that they can get their TPs in. After they get their TPs in, I don't think like holding the obelisk is too much of a priority for them for sure. So, but yeah, I was sweating for a little bit there. My goodness, 60GT doing a great job march swapping here. This is actually textbook from them. K244 can't even take back this obelisk, even with all these high-powered whales consistently swarming it down. Let's go ahead and check out the desert altar here, because yes, there is a lot of 60GT marches dedicated to this obelisk. So that does mean in these lanes, there are probably some marches missing. So it's utter chaos in these other lanes, as K244 has 4 altars. K244 has 4 altars. Will they start mounting this comeback? It's like 60GT kind of has to prioritize, hey, like, do we try to get this obelisk back, try to play standard, or do we just let them in this, like, you know, take this obelisk, maybe have some more TPs, and then focus down these structures? Because look at this, 60GT. I guess they're starting to rotate mid, yeah. They know that K244's biggest shot to coming back and making this even is this next arc. So they're like, hey, you could take the altars, you could take this desert altar. We're going to rotate mid and try to at least secure that. So that is what 60GT, I think that is a play. Whoever wins this arc really dictates the pace of the game here. If K244 is able to come back and kind of even things out, or if 60GT, you know, starts to run away with things here. Wow, that was insane. Only 120 points per minute from 60GT, so this point lead is shrinking dramatically here. As K244 marches, they see a bunch of people starting to rotate mid. They're like, hey, this is the time. We got to start swarming down the structure here. Oh, 60GT was able to get a TP in here. Wow, this is actually such a close match. I think it's going to go down to this arc. As K244 actually rotating first here, they got positioning. starting to swarm down the straggler here. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen a 60 GT march like straggle like that. There's just so much going on in the map. It's utter chaos. There's probably some people have some marches here, some people have marches mid. It's hard to keep track. There are players getting swarmed down here. 60 GT have to push back. 4 minutes left of this Temple of Osiris for the Arc to spawn, as there are some marches hitting 60 GT marches that are on the way to mid. Wow. This is probably the craziest game I've ever watched. K244 was able to recapture the obelisk. Wow, what is going on in this game? Desert Altar was recaptured by 60 GT, so they have 2 altars. Desert Altar is going to be held by K244. There's just so many things going on. It's like a multi-fronted war now. Usually it's front to back, but 60 GT is on the ropes here. Look at the points per minute. Almost double the points per minute for K244. And yeah, that master strategies. What even is the counter to that? That is insane. It looks like 60 GT do have control of mid. They do have control of their 2 desert altars. So they are at least, stabilizing this game here. They have been in the lead. K244 has been chipping away through the structure game. But if they don't get this arc and concede it to 60 GT, that's going to be very hard for K244 to come back from this. Very interesting play from K244 in this situation. A lot of marches around this sky altar and this outer lane here, so it does look like they're just continuously trying to play the structure game. This desert altar is getting low here. Desert altar taken by K244. How about let's see the sky altar. Sky altar also dropping. So K244 looks like they're fully committed to the structure game. Conceding mid here. So 60 GT will get another arc. But will they bring it to this bottom obelisk? I think they have to. There's just too many marches around in this top obelisk to really warrant bringing it here. I'm speechless with this game. I'm literally slurring my words because I have no idea what's going on, what to expect here. Yeah, K244 is just trying to hold both of 60 GT's sky altars or altars for as long as possible. We got Leopard in the outer lane here. It looks like 60 GT sees this and they're like, hey, we gotta take back these altars. Points per minute. I'm actually surprised that they're not trying to capture these outposts. Oh, there you go. We got a Zenobia going towards this outpost. All 3 outposts are more than 1 shrine, so it actually stacks up if you're able to contest outposts for a little bit. As K244 got wiped at the sky altar, so it looks like 60 GT will be able to at least recapture that, as well as a desert altar. So even with all the chaos going on, it does look like 60 GT is able to, at least stabilize the game here. They are building up a point lead, especially if they get this arc. But look at this, K244 with a late rotation here. I think some 60 GT marches actually rotated out of mid. Oh, wow. Was this a ruse? It's like, hey, we got this. We got this beginning force. You let that get wiped. And then we come back. There you go. 60 GT using dust up. Oh my goodness. We got some marches in the back here as well. I'm guessing this came from that altar that they took. Oh, you don't want to be hitting these marches. You want to be hitting the arc carrier. You want to be hitting the arc carrier. These marches don't matter. It's the arc carrier. The arc carrier T1 and all. Able to get the first cap. K244. You gotta focus on the arc. This is the objective. Huge blunder by this player, just open fielding for fun. Wow, 60 GT able to pull that arc so far. And now K244 have to overextend for this arc. Wow, that is a huge blunder from that one player. This arc is gone. Look how far it went. My goodness, T1 for the win, I guess. Look, it's literally on 60GT's side now. Although they do not have the Shrine of War. Maybe they're trying to get it towards the outpost? Maybe it's an outpost strat? What's the play here from K244? It's way too far in 60GT's side to just warrant pulling all the way back unless they want to do so. Maybe they'll try pulling it up towards this city up here. Or maybe towards an outpost. 60GT able to get a cap again. An intense fight for this arc. Look at how close the scores are. They are able to bring it back. It all comes down to this arc to see who will be in the lead. K244 making 60GT sweat here. But it does look like 60GT have the numbers around this arc. They have the numbers. They have the forces. But K244 have the structures. There you go. It looks like, oh, they're actually bringing it up to this obelisk. Wow. This is actually kind of dangerous here. Yeah, they're starting to walk the other way. I would walk the other way as well. There's no, cities on your other obelisk in the bottom side here. But that little indecisiveness actually allowed for a march to catch up. It's Guan with Constantine. Wow, super tanky march. Not too sure how it walked all the way up there, but it did do that. 60GT able to recapture the Shrine of War here. This might be an instant cap for 60GT and just hope that they win another mid fight, because the structure game is heavily in favor in K244. 750 points per minute to 260 is a bit less than 3 times of what 60GT is making. Oh my goodness. This arc is a must for 60GT. It's a must. Okay, they got the T1 march. It's going to start zooming. So if you guys don't know, T1 is the fastest tier in the game, and Cavalry is the fastest troop type. So T1 Cavalry absolutely zooming through. It looks like they will get this arc finally. And start to, they're actually down now, but they will have a pretty sizable point advantage. But they will need to stabilize their structures here. There are a couple low marches, contesting this arc. I think it is in K244's best interest to delay the arc as much as possible here. Just make 60GT sweat a bit. Look how fast this T1 is. Like this T5 Cavalry March could barely even catch up. Will this arc drop, or will they be able to cap? Oh, so they were able to at least stall it for another 10 seconds here. Wow, look at the structure game from K244. They're able to capture the Sky Altar. Only 100 points per minute from 60GT. Oh my goodness. It's getting to that point where even if 60GT captures this arc, which they will, the points are getting so, like, K244 is getting a bit of a gap here to where, like, the game might be even by the point 60GT captures this arc, and they're able to delay it again. K244 is sending a lot of marches here. It's definitely to keep 60GT honest. I think 60GT have to just instantly cap it. They can't risk it. K244 is just going to keep sending marches here And they're losing the structure game at the same time. Wow, what a great match from both teams. My goodness, I don't think I've seen 60GT be pushed in their own realm like this. 60GT dropping the arc again. This is a very 60GT favored fight because it is straight outside of the obelisk, meaning that 60GT marches could just, get straight out of the city, refresh instantly, as we'll see this march as it sad faces. Oh, this march is going speedy, but it will definitely instantly, as soon as a march got home, instantly just taken off. So 60GT will win this fight for sure. And it does look like they're stabilizing the structure game here. So K244 up by 1.1k because of the structure game that they've been doing, the work they've been doing with the structures. 60GT's... Oh, it looks like the Desert Altar is starting to make some points now. But it does look like this is finally the time where 60GT can hold this arc or capture it, whatever they decide to do here. Oh, K244 was actually able to get the first tap. Wow, they are being super annoying with this arc. And look how many marches 60GT is committing to this. Look at the marches here compared to K244. Although K244 is setting a steady stream, there is still a lot of marches from 60GT that is being committed to this arc capture. So it is still, a lot of resources being used right from 60GT. This is definitely not a waste of time from K244. GT is starting to bring this arc closer and closer. Look at the point differential now, 1.3k. The obelisk is getting the Desert Altar rather is getting contested here. But it looks like they were able to. No way, K244 got another pull. What is going on with this arc? Wow. So, an interesting point, because K244 was able to cap it, it reset the timer. So it reset to 15 minutes, so 60GT can actually hold for a full 15 if they want to. Oh, they were able to capture the arc, there you go. They're like, this is too dangerous, let's get the lead, let's fight for one last arc, because they have been winning the mid fights. As we get back to this action in the obelisk up here in the 60GT top obelisk, a lot of structure is being captured by K244 here. I think one big thing is that these outposts are super easy to capture. Look, this like right outside this guy's city. They could just instantly just keep, swarming it down. It's so close. It's usually out of the way, but for these guys, literally right outside of the cities. Let's look at this. Let's look at the Sky Altar. Birdie. We got a birdie sighting here. Bertrand with Nevsky. It is a rather tanky rally. Bertrand Nevsky against Jan Heraclius. I would say 60GT is going to be able to hold this Sky Altar. There aren't that many K244 marches around, so they will be able to hold. It looks like 60GT will actually take this Desert Altar here. Look at the amount of troops around here. They have a Justinian. That is a normal rally I'm used to seeing. Justinian with Nevsky. Zenobia Garrison. The thing about Zenobia Garrison, it's not the best, but it gets the job done. Zenobia is very, very tough to actually take out of the garrison because of the healing factor that it has. So it usually doesn't get sad faced out of the structure here. We'll see if K244 is able to march swap. Get this. Guan, get in there. Go, go, go. There you go. They're able to march swap. There you go. They're able to also sad face a rally here. It looks like going into this mid fight, it's going to be a very tied up game. What does K244 do here? 60GT able to take this Desert Altar, huge for them. Yeah, they're able to sad face at Zenobia finally and able to take a Desert Altar, 3 altars. So that is huge for them. They just want to make sure that K244 right now, they just want to make sure that they neutralize as many points as possible. Neutralize as many points as possible for them. They're holding both their altars. They're able to neutralize this one desert altar. They weren't able to hold it, but they're able to neutralize it for, that's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes worth. So that's 3 times 150, 450 points denied from K244. So that's huge for them for sure. But I think it'll actually come down to this mid fight here. Are there any provisioners? Anyone provisioning? There are some provisioners. It might come down to the mid fight and provisioners actually. Surprisingly enough, there are some provision killers from K244's side. So I think K244 will have the advantage in terms of provisions here. Wow, 60 GT getting contested in this desert altar, and they were able to recapture K244's desert altar. So that is another, I don't know, maybe like 300 points denied from K244. So they are getting a lot of value contesting this altar right here. The points, they're not gaining as many points, K244, as they were previously, as 60 GT is starting to rotate mid right now. And it looks like K244 is finally like, hey, this is the fight where we're going to contest. This is the fight to go to the semifinals, the fight for the skin, the fight to end 60 GT. So let's see if they will actually be able to win this mid fight. There are a lot of 60 GT marches. 60 GT was able to rotate first. Now, one thing that K244 has proven is that they are really good at stalling those arc captures. 15 minutes worth of stalling though? I don't know. As they actually captured the Sky Altar, so that is a point differential again for them. Denying points from 60 GT. So the points are, I would argue the points are going to be about even once this mid fight starts. The points are maybe a bit more towards 60 GT. So yeah, this mid fight is going to be everything here. As we also see a rally on the Shrine of War from 60 GTs. It looks like they're actually contesting with a couple marches. Usually you want to see, like, you know, every march go mid ASAP. You know, you could drop the structures, but 60 GT, they have a lot of resources here. We'll see if that actually proves to be the downfall of this mid fight. K244 having the positioning advantage, but look at the stream of 60 GT marches. I believe they're going to start coming through. It does. Oh, K244 was actually gate hopping here. It does look like there was only one march in one city left in 60 GT spawn anyway, so it's not too consequential here. 60 GT was able to capture this Sky Altar in the top, so the points per minute still in K244's favor, but not by that much. Not by that much. K244, what is the game plan here? Are they going to try to sandwich them? Is this a sandwich maneuver? They're starting to push up now. Both murder balls literally almost touching here. Wow. This is so close. This mid-fight dictates who gets to continue on. Will 60 GT be able to defend their title? Or will they fall to K244, dust up used? Total vision used by 60 GT as well. To the death by K244. This is it, the fight to end the fight here. 1 minute left until Arc spawns. It looks like 60 GT is actually wiping this. My goodness. 60 GT winning the mid fight very, very handily. There are some reinforcements from K244 coming from the north here, but it's a little too late, I'd say. 45 seconds left for this Temple of Osiris. One thing that K244 can do is try to contest first pull, try to pull it towards their side, and by doing that, it'll make this mid fight a bit awkward. But yeah, look at that, 60 GT showing their mid prowess, keeping everyone's eye of talent alive, eye for talent. I bet it on 60 GT to win, but I am so impressed by K244 right now. The game's less than 500 to 60 GT's favor, but they do have full mid control of this arc. K244, this March won't be able to survive. Just one tap. There you go. So 60 GT have control. They have control, but it looks like there is some pressure going towards a shrine. What will K244 do here? They are winning in the points per minute. So if this arc doesn't get captured, K244 has a chance to win. If this arc gets captured, it is 60 GT's game. So this arc will determine the winner and loser for this match. They are defending it like it's a president. Protect the president, protect the arc carrier. They got that to escort for this. It looks like 60 GT was able to stabilize their side structures over here. So it will have to come down to the provisions of K244 to make up this gap if this arc doesn't get captured. But if this arc gets captured, then 60 GT wins. Shrine of War getting contested. The rally, I believe, was swarmed down already. Oh no, the rally's here. Oh, it's a Boudica with Nebu. Interesting. Okay. What is K244 doing? What is their game plan here? It looks like they're still contesting the altars. Looks like they're leaving their own desert altar. Very interesting. 60 GT looking like they're gonna get this arc towards their cities, which is exactly what they want here. Look at that point differential. My goodness. My goodness. The arc is gonna get dropped. That's the first stall from K244. So K244 is able to stall this arc cap. Let's see, are they going to be able to hit the K244 total vision? Okay. It looks like they'll be able to stall it again here. Will they be able to do this for 11 minutes straight is the real question. 60 GT using Heaven's Grace. I like that, just making sure your marches are on the field. They're able to top off. K244, are they moving it? K244 got first tap. Ooh, that is minus 10 seconds. If they continuously get these first taps, this might be it. We're going to be staying at this arc because this arc determines who wins, who loses. They were able to get first tap again. They're moving it towards this top side. Oh my goodness. There's barely any marchers from K244. How are they able to get first tap so fast, so often? It looks like 60 GT. Yeah, they are able to secure this arc now. Will they be able to capture it? Oh, they're going towards a shrine. They're going towards a shrine. Will 60 GT be able to capture this arc? Wow. 60 GT able to capture it. Points per minute, pretty even. And that was huge from 60 GT. Able to keep their Osiris League alive. But look at the structure game though. Look at that. Wow. It is very red right now. The structures are very, very red right now, so it does look like K244 winning points per minute. Will they be able to provision up 5k difference? That's a real question. They gotta hold their structures and try to provision. Oh my goodness. They were actually able to capture an obelisk here. A sky altar in 60 GT's control. Desert Altar K244 will be able to hold. Shrine of War 60 GT will be able to hold. 8 minutes left of this game. These structures are going to be so important, actually. If K244 actually has some provisioners, I saw a couple. I don't see too many. But if they're actually able to provision back, there might be a bit of a game here still. About 3.4k differential between two teams. 60 GT desperately trying to get their Desert Altar back here. Wow, okay. They're able to get their Desert Altar back. That's huge. That's huge. The point differential now. They're able to stem the bleeding from points for sure. Stop the bleeding. As they're actually also going to be able to take the Shrine of Life here. It all depends on these structures. Shrine of War being heavily contested. See the Desert Altar fight as well. Nah, 60 GT has a Desert Altar for sure. Shrine of Life. I think 60 GT also has Shrine of War. Look at the circle. Look at the circle of marches here. That means there's more than 12 people swarming the structure at a time here. But even with that circle, it looks like 60 GT will be able to hold the shrine. These late game structures are actually going to be the difference of 60 GT winning and losing here. K244 winning and losing here. Oh my goodness. This is so intense. They're able to hold their Sky Altar. This Desert Altar will be fine. The Shrine is fine. So this is the last Shrine here. I think 60 GT will actually start gaining points on them. Extending this lead. We'll see what K244 can do here though. That is huge that so many marches from K244 actually went to the Shrine of War. But they weren't able to capture it. Look, they're still circling. And you definitely do not want your marches to be circling like this. The reason being is if they're circling, that means they're not doing damage. You could be doing damage to the swarmers right now. You could be, doing other things in the map. This is not good for K244. And that's probably the reason why they weren't able to capture this Shrine of War. To be fair, it's probably like an act of desperation, right? It's like, we need these structures. We need these structures. Everyone swarm now. But if you have like 30 plus marches swarming, only 12 could swarm, and the other ones aren't doing damage. So, as the second rally hits the Shrine of War, but GT will be able to hold here, and GT is now winning in the points per minute. They're practically losing in points per minute the whole game, but these last couple of minutes, the most precious minutes, 60 GT is able to stabilize the structures. They got both of their desert altars, which is huge. They're contesting the Sky Altar. This Sky Altar might actually determine. Get in! Anyone get in! K244! Fill! Okay, it looks like they will be able to hold this Sky Altar here. Just barely though. Look at how low that Sky Altar is. If this Sky Altar falls, no way the Sky Altar fell. Wow, that is minus 300 points that would have went to K244 going to... Yeah, that's just minus 300 points. 2 minutes at least worth of points. We'll have to see if that's a differential of the game here. That was huge. Huge win from 60 GT. Huge blunder from K244. This desert altar, yeah, they're like... 60 GT is like, alright, just put all of our units around the altars. That's all we need. We just need to hold these altars. K244 swarming down desperately here. Wow. It looks like the Sky Altar might fall too. Oh no, they're filling. 60 GT knows how to fill. Oh, they filling. There is a rally coming in though. Another birdie. But yeah, 60 GT is extending that lead. Is it Birch? Oh, you gotta... Someone gotta stop swarming so that the rally could hit. There you go. Rally's hitting now. But I think it's too little too late. There's too many 60 GT marches for this to fall. 60 GT. Wow. When they needed to play the structure game, these last couple of minutes, they've been playing it superbly. It's crazy to think that just that one cap or just a couple caps of a desert altar, of any structure, may have, swayed the outcome of this game. The Arc is spawning in 10 minutes, but it looks like neither team will be able to capture it. It takes around like a minute 30 to go from mid as a 2-1 march. We'll see. Let's look at the 60 GT march, actually. "34 seconds? Where are you walking to?" Yeah, but I don't think the Arc will be in play here. As yeah, they just pulled away at the end here. We'll have to see if... I'm not too sure how many points provisions could give. K244 just making sure 60 GT can't cap yet another Arc. I think they're starting to bring in the provisioners. Look at that point differential. They gained around like 3k? 2k? But if that's it, then 60 GT has it in the bag. Let's see. Are there any provisioners coming back? I don't see any provisioners on this side. On this side, I don't see any provisioners on this side either. So it does look like 60 GT. Just barely. Look at that. Almost 1k points. So close. Those extra altar caps that 60 GT just did actually proved to be the difference of the game. Oh, what is this? Look at the points. It is so close. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. It was so close. It was so close. 60 GT winning by just 500 points. My goodness. Look at the provisioning score, 3.7k from K244. If they just had a little bit more occupation score, I think that could have proved the difference. Just holding onto those altars for a couple more minutes, holding onto those altars and not letting them drop. That is insane. So 60 GT, 95.2 million total kills. K244, 474.3. GG's to both teams. Insane game that we got to watch today. It was a pleasure being able to cast this. Be sure to subscribe to the official Rise of Kingdoms channel for more Osiris League content. We will have the semifinals next week, and 60 GT just got tested. We'll see if they will be able to go through the hurdles to come. I am Plato Gaming, commentator and caster for Rise of Kingdoms and a content creator. Be sure to check out the links in the description below if you are interested in more Rise of Kingdoms content. And with that, I'm signing out. Goodbye.